Researchers in Germany say while attempting to rid a man of cancer, they inadvertently cured him of his HIV infection as well.
His name is Timothy Ray Brown, the first man in world history to have his HIV completely eliminated from his body. The Berlin patient received stem cells from a donor who was immune to HIV.
Then what they did was they found a donor to basically give him an immune system.
It sort of felt like you couldn't say cure for a number of years. Scientists and clinicians and people living with HIV alike felt like that was a sort of promise that was never going to be realized, and it was dangerous. And now things have shifted.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Hi.
Eventually, my idea is that this guy looks like the epitome. He sounds like the epitome of a person who you want to, you like an underdog, you want to cheer, because he was kind of like an outsider in Berlin. And then, he felt at home there enough to stay for 15 years, being on antiretrovirals and everything. And then suddenly, he gets thrust into this world stage and, becoming beyond insider, outsider. He's just like on the pedestal. And now he has to make a decision, and only after a few years he realized, okay, I need to tell people who I am, and I need to use it to advance certain things for other people. And so this very quiet man has to become this chosen one. So his journey has been just amazing. I mean, and on top of that, the thing that attracts me most about it is that he probably never guessed that he was going to be this special person in the world, the first man ever to be cured. It's, who would ever think that there would be that person?
What is it about his story that resonates with you, and why are you pursuing him like a madman?
Steve Jobs, in one of his most famous quotes, had said that never be afraid to be foolish. And that's something that, is really new to us, new to our culture in Singapore, because it being such a human resource-centric population, we think about ourselves and we think about how if we fail, that's all we're going to be known for. We do not have any reply from Timothy Ray Brown, who probably hates us for writing to him twice. We do not have any interview set up in Berlin. We do not have a translator. We don't have much. I asked myself, I said, what? I'm so fearful that I would fail. It would just be a waste of time and a waste of money. I'm like going, so what? There are some things that, you just probably need to go with the flow, and the whole idea of this is to go with a gut, be a little random.
No, I know.
Let's just do it. Let's just get on that plane and get on that train and get our asses there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Berlin. Takeaway airport. Please remain seated. Safety belt fastened and safety belt sign has been switched off. Friedrichshain. Usually, you see something that looks great on a website, and then when you come, it looks totally different. But here, it looks just like how we saw it. Berlin is just so invigorating. It's so liberating. I read up something really interesting about Berlin. Perhaps it's because of its heavy historical burden that Berlin is throwing itself into tomorrow with such manic abandon. So right smack in the Alexanderplatz, bustling activity. Cafes are jammed at all hours, drinking is a religious rite, and clubs host their scenes of frenzy and hedonism until the wee hours. Sleep? Way overrated. Come and join the party.
Party.
Menashara Kauman, Arba'ina Yauman, Sarah Minhom. Spend 40 days in the land, you will become one of the people. Nobody gives a flying here about what you do. A queer gender fucking experience. Sounds like my kind of party. Gender fucking.
I agree.
Yeah. 3,000 times.
3,000 times.
3,000 days.
3,000 back and forth.
Days. We met Servilo Mendes, makeup artist, performer, K.A., who is Korean, Belgian. She's cool, she had very nice pants. We met Pauline, who is a curator of a museum. Well, I think we're enjoying ourselves a little too much. I feel a bit guilty. So, but I think once the week starts, when everybody's working, that's when we don't have a chance to really get to know them anymore. So this is kind of like the good throw into the deep end weekend where we just say hi and enjoy ourselves, yet tell people who we are, let them get to know us. From the kind of trust comes other kinds of contacts. I'm quite sure.
Oktober hält das Bewusstsein dafür wach, dass vor 21 Jahren etwas möglich geworden ist, das für Jahrzehnte als ausgeschlossen galt. Eine friedliche Wiedervereinigung. Eine Wiedervereinigung im großen Einvernehmen mit unseren Nachbarn. Eine Wiedervereinigung in Freiheit und Demokratie. Eine Wiedervereinigung nicht in einem Niemandsland zwischen
One hand, someone's tired.
Freiheitlicher Demokratie. Und wir dürfen nie vergessen, dass diese Freiheit im Frieden nicht selbst.
I need to write a to-do list because this is not productive. It's not picking up. Hi, good afternoon. Do you speak English? Yes, of course. Hi, my name is, I'm looking for Holger. Holger, yeah. I'm just wondering if Holger isn't around. Do you know anybody else I could speak to? I was referred to by Johan Hick. Johan, yeah. There's a lot of emails, there's a lot of waiting, and getting a little worried that we won't be able to get any kind of interview from anyone.
Who are your contacts until now? Just that, okay.
My contacts in Berlin are Maverick Quack, Singaporean actor here, 20 years. From him, Johan Hick, documentary producer, German. And Maverick's husband, Dr. Reiner, neurosurgeon who may know Timothy's hematologist here.
So, excuse me, but I can't find out where she is.
Okay.
But maybe someone else can help you. Because we have the problem that a lot of people are not in the office today.
Oh, I see. Is it because of yesterday's holiday?
Yes.
You know, the funny thing about it is that I don't even know many people there, and I'm writing to Timothy Ray Brown to actually ask him, hopefully with permission, you know, who he would like me to interview. His friends who were there with him from the get-go, you know, and Timothy Brown's producer has written to us to say that Timothy is presently working on a documentary with them, a documentary feature, and that he can't commit himself to another project right now. Essentially, I've been told in indirect way, okay, stay off our case. Undeniably, Timothy Ray Brown is inspiring me to do random things, and in those random things and random places, how we could interview people and ask them random questions about this.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Do you know who the Berlin patient is?
What is patient?
A sick person. This famous guy in Berlin who was cured of HIV.
I'm stupid. I'm patient.
I'm stupid too.
The Berlin citizens, they don't know about a city, about a citizen. Huh?
They don't?
Yes.
They don't?
Oh.
Is this serious? Yeah. Oh, I don't know what to say. We know no one. We are wondering where he might have lived. Is it We are in the heart of Schoneberg. We are pretty much, guessing if Timothy Brown used to live here. We don't even know if it is anywhere close. It is so random. We're trying to capture people for an interview, but I don't have enough balls to do that right now. Right now, I'm just unable to motivate myself to do it. Sit up straight, Edgar, they say. Wow, this is really something. It looks like coffins, but cement coffins. It is quite intriguing that they would build something like that for pens. I feel very safe here. I could sit here or just hide here forever. I remember the time when I discovered I had cancer, and I was in London, and the day I discovered it, I went to the Tate Modern, and I was so safe. I felt so safe in the Tate Modern because they had rooms where they would play, works, and they all had grey walls like these. As much as it was a very unsure, uncertain period, that day, when I was in those rooms surrounded by grey walls, I felt very, very safe. At some point, I started to hyperventilate, I think because of the weather or something. Can't remember what it was, but I was really quite sick. And I told myself if I died there, amidst those grey walls, that it was fine, that it was okay.
It kind of makes me wonder, about Tim. How it must have been like to be faced with an even bleaker prognosis.
Did you feel attractive?
I mean, what do you do when you stare at death in the face?
3 times.
So you do know you fancy me, right? You still haven't told me what you do, August.
I sell mannequins.
Really? So you have a sexy mannequin that comes to clean every day?
No, I'm not seeing anyone right now. They didn't like each other very much.
What?
My parents, You're very different.
Like us? Must have been a charming couple. Let me guess. Your father's from... He's a quiet, elegant man who loves his favorite things, which do not include your mother.
Oh my god, Sabilo, hi! I had such a strange dream. The new Timothy Brown? Wow, what a small world! Sabilo was with some friends today, and one of them said that she actually knew Timothy Brown and that she wouldn't mind, you know, talking to us about it. What's the biggest size you print? That's the biggest? Oh. I'm actually thinking about just wearing a huge sign on my chest that says, "Do you know anything about the Berlin patient?" and see whether anyone approaches me. Yeah, we can stop here. Here's good.
Here's good?
Yeah, Is this the German part? Yeah. Should we walk? Yeah?
Patient ist tot.
Speak English? Yes?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
The Berlin patient is the first man in the world cured of HIV.
Ah, okay.
And nobody in Berlin seems to know about this. In the world.
In the world?
In the world.
Wow.
Ever. Yeah. And he didn't die.
Really surprised because no, I never heard about.
Everybody loves the English patient.
Exactly. But that's a film.
Killed of AIDS.
Cured. Like he has no HIV. He did a special treatment called stem cell.
England, right?
He's from America. Are you happy to know that somebody has been cured?
Yeah.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Was haben Sie für Beschwerden?
Do you speak English?
No, a little.
Little bit?
Little bit.
My foot, when I walk, it's here, inside. It's inside pain. When I walk,
Bleiben Sie in Berlin länger?
I'm here for 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Mm.
2 weeks.
Tourist.
It's orthopedic problem. Nah? The foot is normally.
Yes.
Your foot is flat. One pills, one day. Und Apotheke ist. Okay.
Danke. Dankeschön.
Tschüss.
So now I have flat feet. It's great. Huh?
Like a duck.
Did you just call me a duck?
A duckling. Is it better?
What kind of person are you? Got people behind the camera. Maverick's husband Rainer just wrote. Timothy Brown's doctor, Dr. Hutter, is keen to talk to us about our project. Well, let's not count our chickens before they hatch, so let's write to Dr. Hutter first. Find out whether he can have an interview with us in Mannheim next week. God, how did this happen? And I'm on painkillers. Try this new brand. Very good. Apparently, as I read, it can cause strokes and heart attacks. So, what the hell am I eating this for? It's time for some good old laxatives. I've always had problems with my gut. I've had more problems ever since I recovered from cancer, actually. I don't know whether I'm addicted, but yeah, I think I'm addicted. I don't think I'm addicted, but I need them. Does that sound like addiction? I don't crave for it. The other one that I take when this fails, which I take very rarely, that one is like the kind that you use for colonoscopy. Well, for sure, chemo has long-lasting effects. I mean, for Timothy Brown, when he was first diagnosed with leukemia, he chose to go for chemo, which is highly toxic and disgusting, and that it nearly killed him. Then he survived 2 bone marrow transplants, high risk, high mortality, a botched brain biopsy, and a robbery where he was almost beaten to death. And he survived all of that without his family being in Berlin, because they're American and the family is actually in Seattle, Washington. So it's rather intriguing, the circumstances that he recovered under. I mean, who was his pillar of support?
I think you've got your mother's eyes. You don't look like your father at all.
How's the omelette?
Oh, they are very good actually. I don't think I've tasted such a silky, springy texture in eggs before. Come to think of it, I don't think I've had this many eggs in one meal.
My favorite.
Well, eggs Benedict, egg mayo, egg salad.
I really like eggs.
You almost make them sound romantic. August, when was the last time you fell in love? I'm guessing she was sexy and carefree. Quite the catch.
Can you hear me? Yes. Yeah. So, would you be free for us to meet you by any chance in Mannheim? Oh, no problem. Yes. Bye. Bye. Ciao. Good. The doctor called us. I know, right? Like, what are the chances? Like, just now I was just doing my thing and suddenly he called me. I mean, I didn't even know the number. And when I was like, hello, and he's like, hi, this is Gero from Mannheim. I'm like, Gero from Mannheim? Who's that? Then he's like, I said, meet Dr. Hutter. He's like, yes, I got your email. I was like, oh my god, you called me. Timothy Brown wrote back as well. Dear Edgar, I worked for a total of 10 years at Cafe Adler, which was on Checkpoint Charlie. There is now a Cafe Einstein, where Cafe Adler was. It was one of the places where foreign journalists hung out while there was rumor that the wall might come down. I lived in 1991 in Kreuzberg. Then I moved to Simon Dach's Strasse in Friedrichshain in East Berlin. Finally to Schöneberg. Yeah, in Friedrichshain, he was here. We went to Schöneberg and he was there. We have kind of like ESP, don't we? Mm-hmm. Are we? Oh yeah, by the way, are we meeting Christina tonight? Oh, yay! Well, that's another yay. We got a lot of yays today. 10th October 2011 is a good day for all of us. So, it's a perfect 10, you know, it's 10-10. Your booking was successful! VFP 229. We have tickets, Dzul. I have to withhold my excitement when I see him. That's our food! Lunchtime! But how? I can't go there like this, Dzul? Chateauneuf du Pape. How are you? It's such a small world that, you know, you would know Raphael and Raphael would know Christina, and then we're here today.
Immer so 2, 3 Männer hier, ja?
Okay.
So, von meinen Kindern, so.
Ja.
Heute waren auch 2 hier. Aber so viele auf einem Fleck habe ich noch nie gehabt, ja?
Okay.
Is that good?
Ja?
Good?
Das ist gut.
That's good.
So, aber ich habe jetzt erstmal einen Tee für euch gekocht.
Okay, wunderbar.
Ja?
Yeah.
So,
She has a tea for us.
Oh. How did they first meet? Christina and Tim.
Ja, wie habt ihr euch kennengelernt zuerst?
Also ich habe in einer Hautarztpraxis gearbeitet, als Kosmetikerin in einer Schwerpunktpraxis. Er ist gekommen wegen seiner Haut, er ist ja zu mir in die Kosmetikkabine auch gekommen, ja.
Aber damals hatte schon die Diagnose gehabt,
ne? Ja, die Diagnose hat er gehabt. Ne?
Ja.
Tim war immer schlank, er hat immer darauf geachtet, auf seine Haut. Also wenn da eine kleine Falte war, da war der unglücklich. Ja? Er war immer derjenige, der am längsten im Bad war. Das war länger als ich. Und wo er hier läuft, das ist eben so, Tim war Vegetarier. Und wenn wir gegrillt haben, da haben wir immer so gelacht, wenn da ein Stück Fleisch auf dem Grill war, dann hat Tim nichts mehr gegessen. So, kein Glutamat.
Okay.
Er bekommt dicke, also wenn man Glutamat isst, das verträgt er nicht und dann beschwellen seine Lippen an, hat er mir dann immer erzählt. Okay. Aber wenn ich dann von meiner Gemüsebrühe, habe ich einen Löffel, wenn er nicht geguckt hat, reingemacht. Und Michael und ich, wir haben immer gewartet, dass die Lippen anschwellen. Nichts ist angeschwollen. Aber das war ja nicht Bio. Also seine Biomacke, das war für mich das Schlimmste. Den kannst du raus. Ja, da hast du schon. Vielleicht kannst du den rausziehen. Das sind meine gesammelten Werke. So, und da ist die ganze Geschichte von Tim drin. Das ist in diesem Stern. Da ist die ganze Geschichte drin von Tim. Bitte. Das Wunder von Berlin.
Was it difficult for him to make a decision to do the stem cell transplant?
War das eine schwere Entscheidung für ihn, diese Stammzellentherapie anzufangen?
Also es ist so, wenn ein Arzt sagt, also Sie sitzen am Ende des Jahres im Rollstuhl, wenn wir Sie operieren, entweder Sie schaffen es, dann laufen Sie wieder, ja, oder eben Sie sitzen sowieso im Rollstuhl. Und ich ihn das erste Mal wieder gesehen habe, da war ich wirklich, also ja, ich will nicht sagen jetzt erschüttert, das ist nicht der richtige Ausdruck, aber wie ein Mensch sich erholen kann. Und dann habe ich Suppe gekocht, ja, bei ihm. Und ich bin dann rein und habe ihn gesehen. Und er stand und für mich ein völlig gesunder Mann.
Ja.
Er hat Appetit gehabt, wir haben gefrühstückt zusammen. Ja, und früh, ich habe dann bei ihm auch geschlafen und wir haben abends ganz lange zusammengesessen. Ich glaube auch, weißt du, weil Tim immer so zu anderen Menschen auch immer gut war und er immer geteilt hat, immer abgegeben hat. Also er war nie so ein Ich-Mensch. Vielleicht hat der liebe Gott deshalb gesagt, ich muss ihm helfen, der Mann muss erhalten bleiben.
Ja.
Ne?
Das heißt, du glaubst, er ist der Auserwählte?
Ja.
Okay.
Ja, das glaube ich.
Yes.
Was ich natürlich sagen muss, worüber ich sehr, sehr traurig war,
Ja.
Tim hat nie geraucht, also früher mal. So, jetzt überlebt er diesen ganzen das ganze Krankheitsbild und jetzt raucht er. Wobei Tim ja nun derjenige ist, der Gesundheitsapostel. Ja. Und jetzt raucht er. Und er raucht, glaube ich, immer noch.
Such a health nut.
Did you ask him why
Und wir
he
haben
was
die
smoking?
Zigaretten versteckt.
Und weshalb?
Ich frage. Ich habe auch gesagt, Tim, warum? Und da hat er gesagt, tja, ich glaube, das kann man nicht erklären, ja. Also gerade jetzt, wenn man sowas überlebt, fängt man doch nicht an zu rauchen. Ich kann es nicht nach.
Why did he leave Berlin?
Weshalb ging er denn weg fort von Berlin?
Das frage ich mich auch.
She doesn't know. I asked myself that.
Also ich glaube einfach, dass es auch so ist, die Beziehung war nicht mehr, ja, und er wollte eben nach Hause erstmal Oma und alle noch mal sehen und ich bin mir nicht sicher, ob er nicht wiederkommt.
I learned that it's sometimes the closest friends that don't know what's really going in your head or how much pain you really feel. So in that sense, I think there are things that we learned from Christina, but there are also things that I know I think if I can understand it from my own standpoint of how I went through my own recovery without telling my parents, it's pretty much the same thing. Because I was recuperating in a friend's place in Singapore, while my parents thought that I was still in Dubai. So until today, they don't know. So I learned that. You know, he's definitely a very strong person. You know, how Christina describes him to be.
Aber er hat so einen Lebenswillen immer gehabt, ja. Also ich hatte immer den Eindruck, der hat gar nicht ans Sterben gedacht. Ja? So hat er immer, ich habe das bewundert, dass er so eine Ausstrahlung hatte. Ja? Also ich habe ihm die Hand gestreichelt oder so. Also Tim, du hast zwar gesehen, wie er sich gefreut hat, dass man da ist, ne? Aber ich persönlich kann zu keiner Zeit sagen, wenn ich ihn gesehen habe, dass er so unheimlich traurig war. Er hat immer irgendwo gesehen, es gibt eine Hilfe.
I'm actually a cancer survivor myself.
Siehst du? Und warst du vorher dicker?
Were you fatter?
Skinnier. I was skinnier, and then
Er hat mehr Gewicht zugenommen danach.
Ja?
And then I ate when I did chemotherapy and I was nauseous.
Yeah.
I decided to eat when I was nauseous.
Eat when you're nauseous?
Yeah, and then I gained the weight back because I realized it was in my head. So I didn't lose as much weight as I should have because I tricked my brain. I remember my doctor very well. He's quite a character because he's not the kind who would sugarcoat things. You know, he'll come in, I'll walk into the room, he'll be like, hey, how are you? And I'll be like, hey, how are you? Same, seeing patients every day. You? Are you still constipated? I say, yeah, a little bit here and there. I say, I'm trying out this new thing though, this herbal, organic thing that makes me go. Oh, really? I think it's called placebo. So I think relationships with your doctors, I mean, you just can't help but be a little personal after a while. I mean, they are the ones who follow your recovery, and you know, for cancer survivors, they have to monitor for like 10, 15 years. Later! So I think relationships with doctors are quite, they're quite unique because they're not meant to be personal. Yet they end up being very comforting because you don't know them and they're supposedly only doing their job, but you know, it always goes a certain, you know, it becomes like it's forged in something, you know, like camaraderie. Plus the fact that you are in a building with strangers, it always helps. It's almost silly to think that a building that's got nobody you know would make you feel better when you're trying to recover from something instead of having the people closest to you beside you. It's not always a comfort. Good morning. Do you speak English?
Dr. Hütter?
Yes, yes. Hi. Hello. Thanks for having us. So kind of you.
Have a good journey.
It was quite nice, actually. Thank you. Hello. Hello. Let's take a walk.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you could take us through the first time on the day that you thought about the treatment.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, when I was a medical student, I heard about this mutation, and I was so impressed from this work because always concerning HIV, always they looked for the patients who had already HIV, and this was a group of scientists who looked for people who should have been infected but wasn't.
And after he had that first transplant, he had a relapse again, 2008.
Yeah, the second relapse, yeah.
Where he went through the second transplant.
Yeah.
So how does it, I mean, it sounds really harsh.
It was no problem for him. He stayed for the first transplant, he stayed exactly 14 days in the hospital. In the end it worked, and he has still some problems, medical problems from the second transplant, but this was that were complications which can happen every time in every treatment.
How would you describe, if you can, Timothy Brown's attitude throughout that whole time?
He was very brave, so and he was motivated, and he's a vegetarian, and he didn't like the whole hospital food stuff, so he had always big bags of food, of soups, and had a coffee machine and something. So everything he organized his life.
Do you think it was a success also because of how strong he was in the head?
Yeah, I think
it's like a 50-50%?
Yeah. We know from other patients who have similar problems, and they get worse and worse, and in the end they will die because they have not the motivation to go. You can't get rid of the cancer only with motivation, but you can minimize the side effects by motivation.
There is a conspiracy theory that the reason why AIDS cure research isn't as funded is because the pharmaceuticals don't find it a business model. Is that true?
could be. HIV is a very small and very simple virus. And
small and simple virus?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the biological basics of this virus have been discovered 20 years ago. There's nothing new. The big organization for founding have sometime 10 or 20 years ago decided not to found scientific work for HIV research, but they supported prevention or something like that. This has already changed after this case. This is one of the very good and positive effects of this case.
I found a very interesting thing that a lot of Berliners don't know about the Berlin patient.
That's probably because the term Berlin patient is an American term. There are quite every day in the newspapers some big headlines of miracle cure or something like this, and so the patient who are affected from this disease, they're pissed off with this. They don't like always every day they make hope. And the next day, oh, it wasn't meant like this. And so I have requests from HIV patients every day. Every day I have, my email account is full of patients without leukemia or other cancers who want this treatment, the stem cell treatment. But if this is not a proper way for treatment in their case. So if they have a leukemia or something like that, this is another situation. But if they have HIV, and want to improve their situation, I always say that there are follow-up trials and there are gene therapy trials coming up, and they have to be patient.
Do you think that the idea of the Berlin patient represents hope for the world?
Yeah, that is a very important point. That people realize that some kind of cure is possible, and that it's worth to wait for something new. I do this for him, for the Timothy Brown, and I do it for the idea which stands behind this Timothy Brown case, and get these things public.
Interesting things came up during the conversation, but I think more interestingly was what happened after the camera stopped rolling. I thought that he gave us things about how much he knew about Timothy's life, which he didn't probably want to say on camera, but I can say that there's a certain bond that he has. There's a certain closeness, endearment even. And he said that right after Timothy Brown's first stem cell transplant, that Timothy went back to his old ways. Don't really know what to do with that information, but I guess it is possible for anyone who has gone through something so traumatic to, when he's recovered, just want to get back to what his life was before.
Sexy and carefree. Quite the catch.
Are you still friends with this princess?
Such a dirty word. Friends.
Are you relaxed?
Are you kidding? Good food, good wine.
Like Japanese beef?
What?
Cows are fed with alcohol, massaged every day, so that they're relaxed. Silky and supple.
Am I your Kobe beef?
You're my creme brulee.
For without hope, there pretty much is nothing. No leaps of faith, no possibilities, no facing of the unknown. Now, how does one put faith into the unknown without fear of it hitting the ground? Or not having fear at all? And that's why this man is so important. His name is Dr. Gerard Hutter. And he's the man who took one big leap almost 5 years ago and did what was assumed impossible. He cured one man of HIV. And the man, pretty much to me, went against all odds. And it's a good set of... And I'm still filming, and I will stop until it feels right to do so. So, it's challenging perception, our own perception, our own comfort zones, and our fears, the biggest boost we could ever give ourselves. Well, let's find out. Have a great leap, everyone. Thank you.
So, okay, we calm down. Okay, we've just discovered that Timothy Brown is going to appear in Amsterdam on the 3rd of December as part of World AIDS Day to give a talk for people with HIV, their partners, friends, relatives, and interested parties. And because of privacy, photography and filming are not permitted. Which is a bummer, and kind of makes going to Amsterdam quite pointless at first glance. Hi, good afternoon. Can I speak to Fred, please?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to hear you, and and soon, hopefully, to meet you as well. I do hope that something that's within the privacy concerns can be addressed as well, as while we try to showcase what's going to happen at a kind of magic.
Yeah, well, what I wrote to you by email, in the theater, cameras are not allowed.
I understand.
Backstage, well, I could be, I could give you an interview, could talk to you maybe on Thursday or Friday.
That's on the 1st and 2nd, or 2nd, yeah?
Yeah, shall we? So, I could give you an interview, or, well, whatever might be appropriate for you.
Lovely.
But what I could do is, on Friday, maybe we can meet for an interview.
Yes.
In the Lloyd's Hotel. Timothy will stay there. So we could meet at 11 in the morning. I have 1 hour from 11 to 12 for an interview.
Oh, love, that's fantastic.
to Blue. Where is his dog? That's Timothy Brown. Oh God. That just meant that Timothy Brown is now downstairs, and I'm here, and let me do something about this. Okay, I'm seeing him tomorrow. He's busy now. I don't want to surprise him. Can you tell that Fred is with him? Should I just go out and check, see what is there? Maybe I should just grab my iPhone. I'm just gonna grab my iPhone. Okay. Second floor. They're on the second floor. It's on the fifth floor. So I'll see you downstairs tomorrow at 2 o'clock at the restaurant. Thank you so much, Timothy. See you tomorrow. Bye. Bye. So I was on the phone with Timothy Brown. You need to come in. I need to tell you what's going on. I was sitting on that chair. It's no longer there. And in the afternoon, and then suddenly I heard like ruffling noises downstairs, just outside the window, and so I just peeped to the side of the window and I saw Timothy Brown and Fred Verdut of A Kind of Magic coming out of a van with a huge sign saying Timothy Carre. I tried to go down to the hotel lobby, and Timothy Brown walked out of the corner with Fred Verdut, and just like that, like just walking towards me. And he just went high, and Fred just went high, and I just like, and I continued walking. I was in a state of shock. So I said, okay, this is crazy. So I went to do my errands, and I came back, and I had written to Fred to ask where tomorrow and what time. And then he writes back and says, oh, I'm sorry, I won't be there tomorrow. You can join a Dutch journalist at 12. Good luck. I just said sorry. I said, thank you very much. I put on the phone, and I started to think, what should I do? And so I decided to just call room service, reception, and say, could you patch me to Timothy Brown? Tonight? Do you think you could patch me to his room? Oh, thank you. Hi, can I speak to Mr. Timothy Brown, please? Hi, Timothy. This is Edgar Tang from Singapore. Hi, how are you? I said, oh, okay.
Am I interrupting
is it possible that, you squeeze us in at 2 o'clock? He said, yeah, sure. I said, should we meet you at the restaurant? He said, yeah, sure. Okay, see you tomorrow. Okay, bye. And there it is. What do you think? So while we wait for tomorrow to happen, you're probably wondering by now what the hell this narrative section is about. Technically, you're right. It's got nothing to do with this documentary because it was shot in New York 2 years ago. Way before I thought about finding Timothy. I remember that I had become rather intrigued by the idea of making choices and being chosen, and making bad choices, or good choices, by the idea of being the chosen one, whether you're being preyed upon, was very intriguing, and I wrote this.
Ready for dessert? Are you relaxed?
I mean, to be chosen by a serial killer. What are the chances, right?
Right now, police and the FBI are searching for a serial killer, and investigators are scouring a stretch of a beachfront there for more victims after finding 10 bodies dumped there. And this is just one of several unsolved serial murder cases nationwide. More on those investigations, John.
Hi, Tim. I'm Edgar. I'm good, how are you? How was your lunch?
I want to go out and...
Yeah, let's do that.
I smoked for about 15 years and then quit. And quit for 5 years.
Yes.
And then started again. I think the reason I started, I got out of the hospital and my ex-partner who had also quit when I quit was smoking. Yeah, was smoking again. And then I started too.
So how was it like, that day, that moment when you realized that the stem cell transplant worked?
I think I was in the hospital and Dr. Yuto told me that everything said that I didn't have HIV anymore. And, but I still didn't really believe it. Not until he got his article published with the New England Medical. Yeah. Because I wasn't ready to go public with my story.
To come out.
Yeah, exactly.
For the second time.
Right.
So you say that people have been responding very well.
Yeah.
And it gives hope that we make HIV sufferers, so-called, complacent. What do you think?
I'm hoping that it doesn't make people complacent. I'm hoping that it actually gives them hope that there is a possibility that they too could be cured eventually. I'm also hoping that the cure will be available to everyone in the entire world. Because treatment is not really the answer. Only a cure will do that.
You survive 2 stem cell transplants.
Yeah.
And 1 is enough to possibly kill a person.
Yeah.
That the second one usually has a 50% chance.
Yeah.
And you survived that.
Yeah.
And this is after chemo.
Right.
And after that, you became the world's most biopsied human being.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. There might be a point in this that you might actually be a superhero. I'm just saying.
I kind of feel bad about this, but I revealed my name because I was offered money by Stan.
But if there wasn't money, would you have done it?
Probably. I would hope I would have. Because it's actually turned into a very positive part of my life. Having HIV in the first place and what's happened with my cure and everything has actually given me a purpose in life. Yeah, going around the world, speaking to people about a possibility of a cure for everyone. Mm-hmm. To me, I don't feel that I'm particularly responsible for it happening. I think that Dr. Huger's idea, he was able to think outside the box and come up with a cure for me. Because he's an oncologist, which is not really normally...
not an HIV specialist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Neuropathy is probably from the chemo.
I see.
Do you have neuropathy?
No, I don't. I have issues with my digestive system.
Ah, yeah.
I didn't go through many major side effects except for that.
That's hard enough. Evidently, well, I was told at the time that they had left an air pocket on my brain, yes. And so they had to open me up again. Yes. So I had to have second brain surgery, and the whole thing was pretty traumatic. I didn't feel that happy, even though I was cured of HIV.
Apparently you're a health nut, according to Christina. Organic, 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 she says.
Yeah.
Are you still a very organic food eater?
I don't really worry that much about that anymore. I would say I am more into enjoying food. I love to eat, particularly good food. I spend a lot of time and money on being able to eat well.
Oh, what is your comfort food?
I like Peruvian food, ceviche. And
very specific.
Yeah, and also sushi. I like raw fish.
You don't eat red meat?
Correct.
You don't eat chicken?
Right. I still eat fish and seafood.
Do you eat eggs?
Yes, I do.
What you got there? Smells delicious.
It's a caviar sandwich. I made it myself. You want some?
Do you think you're strong?
I think I am now, but I have to say that I didn't always feel as confident as I do now. That may have been one of the reasons why I got HIV in the first place. I used to be quite promiscuous. I needed to feel attractive. I didn't really feel attractive. Actually, I've only recently started feeling attractive because my current partner, my current boyfriend, tells me that I am attractive all the time. Yeah, and that's really helped me.
Do you sometimes feel that this whole journey so far is like a dream?
Yeah, it does feel like a dream.
It feels like you're walking on a dream?
Yeah. But I feel, at the same time, I feel more in touch with myself than I ever have. And now I really do feel like I am in control of myself and with myself. I don't feel like I'm looking down at myself.
Do you find that ironic?
Yeah, I do.
Actually, it almost started as a handshake, and then I could see his body language was going for a hug. So I was like, oh, so glad, and I hugged him. And it was a really deep, tight hug. And then he told me in my ear, "Thank you so much for doing this." And I said, "No, thank you for being here." We are going to a kind of magic, which is where Timothy Brown and Dr. Hooter will be reuniting after a year. It is an event attended at the HUGGED, which is a gathering of more than 1,000 HIV-positive people sharing their experiences, and also more than 100 medical specialists with updates on the fight against AIDS and AIDS cure research. The only problem is we can't shoot anything in the carré, which is behind me, because of the obvious privacy concerns of the attendees. So we'll have to attend it as normal spectators.
Dank jullie wel. Please give a round of applause for the one and only person on earth who has ever been cured of HIV, Timothy Brown.